G'day, I'm Faintly Saintly, and thank you for joining me for the final Humble Choice Special Pass for 2025. Where has the year gone? In this series, we check out the offering of the Humble Choice bundle each month to compare reviews, value, and compatibility of each game on offer. My goal is to provide you with all the information you need to decide. Will you smash the Choose Games button, or will you pass and hope for a better offering next month? It has been an up and down kind of year for the Humble Choice subscribers, with a mix of fantastic bundles that include great games for a wide audience, and less impressive bundles with more controversial game picks. So will they end the year with a bang? Let's find out. And remember, if you find this video useful, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot and keeps you informed when new videos are released. Cheers. Nine Souls is the headline act, and the choice that a lot of people seem to be the most excited about. This one is a hand-drawn platformer that combines Souls-like combat with Metroidvania-inspired exploration. Your journey takes you across a fantasy alien backdrop with the goal of defeating the titular Nine Souls, the leaders who reign over the strange world you find yourself in. Describing itself as Tau-punk, the theme of Nine Souls features a blend of cyberpunk and Eastern mythology themes, which combine to create a unique and visually appealing setting. Nine Souls was released in 2024 and still currently sells for around 45 Australian dollars, so the bundle is a great way to pick this one up if you've had your eye on it. It is Steam Deck verified, which is great news, as this kind of game feels like it will lend itself really well to play on handheld, and a deluxe edition is also available if you wanted to support the devs by paying for some extra content such as the soundtrack and art books, but this content is not included in the bundle. When you see the reviews this game has been getting, it's clear to see why so many people were excited to see it headline the bundle this month. On Steam, lifetime English reviews are overwhelmingly positive with an impressive 95% positive rating. Players just love everything about it. The beautiful world, the appealing art style, the challenging combat, and the rewarding adventure and progression. Difficulty does get mentioned a lot in reviews, and while it is a difficult game, nobody seems to think it's unfair, which encourages you to try again. It's as if your ability to learn combat patterns and improve your strategies is like another form of meta progression. While this is appreciated by most players, a lot of the negative reviews are from players who found it a little bit too difficult. So this is not the best choice for those of you who would rather have a more relaxing or cozy experience. With comparisons to Hollow Knight and a strong representation of Metroidvania and Souls-like elements, I'm definitely excited to give this one a try. Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. That is quite a mouthful. It is a Like a Dragon, aka Yakuza spin-off, which is set chronologically in the same time period as the game Yakuza Like a Dragon. Confused yet? So am I. The Yakuza and Like a Dragon franchise feature a series of action role-playing games renowned for their unique beat-em-up combat and often outrageously over-the-top storylines and side quests. Like a Dragon Gaiden, with Gaiden literally meaning side story, is a spin-off of the series that connects the plot between 2020's Yakuza Like a Dragon and 2024's Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. As an outsider to the franchise, I've spent far too long trying to explain where this entry fits into the series, and I'm sure I still don't have it completely correct. In any case, let's focus on the game. Released in 2023, this entry follows the story of Kazuma Kiryu, who, as the title implies, has faked his death, changed his name and assumed a new identity to escape from his previous life of crime. The game usually sells on Steam for around $80, though at the time of writing it is on sale for $30. Steam Deck users will have a good experience playing this one on the go with a verified Steam Deck rating, and overall it seems like most players do have a positive, good experience with it, attesting to the 96% lifetime, overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam. Though take note that the game does incorporate de novo DRM and a third-party license agreement, which is something to consider if that concerns you. Longtime fans of the series appreciate the game's improved combat mechanics, undoing some of the less popular changes from other recent titles. Despite being a spin-off designed to fill in the story between two mainline games, you will find a whole lot of content and a fleshed out, touching story here as well. Some fans consider this a high point of the series, while others think it falls a little bit short, but universally, pretty much everybody enjoys it. Most of the complaints are around the value of the title, suggesting it could have been a DLC expansion rather than a full-priced entry into the series, but in any case, if you are a franchise fan, this seems like a no-brainer. For others like me who have no real connection to the franchise, it feels a little bit daunting to jump in here, but it is a good excuse to finally give it a go. Streets of Rage 4 is the latest entry in the long-running franchise that first came to be in the early 1990s. Continuing to deliver the classic arcadey beat-em-up action, this fourth entry brings the series into the modern era while staying faithful to what made the originals great. The graphics are a really good example of this combination of new and old, featuring pretty high-res, modern 2D graphics alongside some more retro pixel art sprites. Overall, this seems like a love letter to longtime fans of the franchise or the genre overall. Released in 2020, Streets of Rage 4 currently sells on Steam for $36 Australian dollars. There is also a deluxe edition available which includes DLC that introduces more content and characters as well as the soundtrack, but that's not included in this bundle. The game itself is Steam Deck verified, which is really good to see because this is yet another game that seems to lend itself really well to being played on handheld or on the go. Lifetime reviews are 93% very positive, proving to be a popular return to form for the series for newcomers and longtime fans alike. Many reviews consider this to be the perfect Streets of Rage game, combining the quality of the originals with nice modern touches, resulting in an experience that is just simple, good old-fashioned fun. Players like the variety of characters, stages, enemies, and arenas, as well as the excellent music and satisfying skill-based combat. It's not without its criticisms though. Some say the combat can feel a little bit awkward, with clunky controls and unresponsive movement at times. Others also claim that the AI feels a little bit cheaty, with inhumane reflexes that make some of the high difficulty fights more frustrating than fun. Overall though, it seems like a nice game to have for players who appreciate the classics, and it's certainly a welcome addition to the bundle. This isn't one I'd go out of my way to buy, but if I get it in a bundle like this one, I'd definitely give it a try. Lost Skies is an open-world adventure game with survival, crafting, and co-op elements. Take to the skies over a fractured world to explore, build, and conquer, alone or with friends. This combination of genres has become a little bit of a meme in recent times, mostly due to just how many early access open-world survival crafting games seem to be popping up on Steam. Lost Skies seems to have some unique charm and elements that help it to stand out from the pack, with airships, guns, and a more science fiction theme, where others mostly seem to be more fantasy themed. But is that enough? Lost Skies was released out of early access in September, so as far as full releases go, it is still very young. To date, the devs do appear to be active in continuing development with the release of several updates and patches for the game, which is always good to see. The game currently sells for $37 and is unfortunately not supported on the Steam Deck at all. User reviews are mixed, with a lifetime rating so far of just 67% positive, so what's the story here? Well, the major complaints seem to be that the game still feels unfinished, despite the recent launch out of early access into version 1.0. Players report performance issues, lots of bugs, incomplete or poorly designed user interfaces, and even the loss of progress due to issues with save games. Conceptually, most players agree that the game has a fun setting and the potential to be something great, but at the moment it's half-baked and players fear the game will be abandoned before it's completely fixed to an acceptable standard. I'd usually give a game like this a chance, but based on what I've read so far, I might just wait and see whether the devs can do enough to fix it. For now, it's a pass. Intravenous 2 is a tactical top-down shooter that gives you the freedom to approach every encounter in your own way. You can go in all sneaky-beaky like, or burst in guns blazing. The presentation of the game is reminiscent of similar top-down shooters such as Hotline Miami or Door Kickers, and this game seems to take some inspiration from both, while it succeeds in standing out with its own unique mechanics. You follow the gripping storyline and forge your own path with the choices you make as you progress. Intravenous 2 was released in 2024 and currently sells for $30 Australian dollars. It is playable but not verified on the Steam Deck, so be sure to do some research into that if it's important to you. From what I could read, some players were able to get it running with the right control scheme, but others struggled, so your experience may vary. Regardless, this game boasts an impressive 96% overwhelmingly positive rating, making it the fourth game in this bundle so far to have a rating over 90%, and the reviews are absolutely glowing. Players love it. The gameplay is said to be challenging but fair, and the freedom to choose how you approach each engagement is legitimate. It's not just a binary, surface level, going hot or going quiet. The maps are full of interactive objects and paths which you can use to your advantage to plan and execute your own strategy. There are some common complaints. The story is a bit lacking, and a few things such as the camera controls can be a little bit awkward and clunky, but these complaints seem minor in the scheme of things. As a huge fan of Hotline Miami, I am surprised that this game was never on my radar, but I'm actually really excited to give this one a try. Dungeon Tycoon is a management game with tower defense elements, somewhat reminiscent of classics such as Dungeon Keeper and Evil Genius, both of which were favourites of mine back in the day. In Dungeon Tycoon, you run your dungeon like a business. You must design it to be appealing enough to attract heroes, you fill it with loot and traps, you summon monsters, and sell potions to the very same heroes who are attacking you. In a twist, letting heroes survive and escape with valuable loot is a boon, because they'll keep coming back, and they might even bring their friends next time. Dungeon Tycoon was released in 2024 and currently sells for around $20. It's listed as playable, but not verified for the Steam Deck. However, Steam Deck support is noted as a completed goal on the surprisingly vast feature roadmap, so this could be outdated information. According to this roadmap, there's also plenty of new content to come as well. The game has lifetime, mostly positive rating of 78%, which is trending downwards in recent reviews, which is concerning considering the ongoing content updates. Players find it to be an original concept that is executed well in general. It's fun, without being too difficult or frustrating, though it might be a little bit lacking in content in the late game, where people say it becomes a little bit repetitive and stale. For me, I'm always keen to play another Dungeon Keeper style game, so I'll be giving this one a try for sure. Beholder Conductor is a spin-off of the popular Beholder series, which puts you in the shoes of an oppressive landlord whose main hobby includes violating the non-existent rights of your tenants to appease the totalitarian state you work for. Beholder Conductor takes that on the road, or should I say on the rails, where your attention is turned to monitoring and investigating passengers on a train. A grim and dystopian political sim, you must decide how to approach the assignments given to you by the ministry, and your choice to be loyal to the state or compassionate to the people can have interesting consequences. This latest entry in the series was released in April 2025 and currently sells for $20 on Steam. The game is Steam Deck verified, so you can roleplay as a train dictator on a real train if you really wanted to. This spin-off has been very well received, with a lifetime very positive review rating of 87%, which is actually trending upwards, with an impressive 98% overwhelmingly positive rating of all recent reviews. The confronting world building and immersive atmosphere is well regarded by players, particularly fans of the series who have come to appreciate the setting that has been established and iterated on since the first Beholder game was released. There is a feeling of tension, a gripping storyline, appealing art style, and importantly, the sense that your choices actually matter. At least according to most players. Some seem to disagree and suggest that this is a weak point in the series compared to the mainline games. Some of the major criticisms are that this one feels a little bit more forgettable and less impactful than the previous entries, but in any case it does seem like a fun experience that will make you think, and as somebody who was not familiar with the franchise before this, I've read enough to be intrigued and I'll happily give this one a look. Godlike Burger, at a glance, is your run-of-the-mill kitchen cooking sim in which you must take orders and serve an ever-growing crowd of customers. Just imagine that, but with aliens for customers. And also you need to capture the aliens and harvest them to turn them into burgers that you then serve to other alien customers. Alright, maybe it's not quite run-of-the-mill. While the gameplay loop for the most part looks similar to other games like Plate Up, Godlike Burger adds a new layer of dark and macabre themes to keep things interesting. You lure in customers, you turn them into mincemeat, you bribe the police, or even relocate your restaurant as a whole to minimise suspicion. All in a day's work. Released in 2022, Godlike Burger usually sells for around $30 Australian, though for a brief period it was on a deep discount down to under $5, as is the case with many of the smaller titles that find themselves filling out the monthly choice bundle. The game is Steam Deck verified, so you can take your murderous meat manufacturing on the go with you. Overall, the game has been fairly well received with a mostly positive lifetime rating of 76% on Steam. Reviewers find the game fun to play with a good balance of management and action. There is a lot to do, and this can appear overwhelming at first, but the game eases you into it well. With the day-night cycle for different tasks, things become more manageable and not too stressful. The unique game mechanics are implemented well and add a lot to make the game stand out from other similar experiences. Most of the complaints are around longevity. After the very fun early game, the game can taper off and become repetitive over time. In addition, the controls are said to be a little bit awkward, so this is one you might want to bring out the controller for. I am curious about this one. While I'm a big fan of games like Plate Up, which set a high standard for these kind of mechanics, I'd be keen to see how the unique additions to Godlike Burger can evolve the genre. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it, but in a bundle, I'll probably end up giving it a try.
Bummer.
And there we have it, the final Humble Choice bundle for 2025. At first glance, when the bundle was announced, my initial thoughts were, great, another instant skip, but now that I've actually done some research and learned more about each of the games that were included, I realised how wrong I was. In terms of review scores, this is a very strong month, with every game having a positive rating, and most of those being rated above 90%, which is actually impressive to see. There's a good variety of original IPs, sequels and spin-offs, and there's almost certainly something for just about every gamer. In the end, we have a bundle that is easy to recommend, and one I'll definitely be picking up for myself. I hope you found this video useful. If it's your first time, or if you've been following along all year, let me just take a moment to say thank you so much for your support. It means a lot. In the new year, my plan is to potentially revise the format of these videos, but I fully intend to continue the series into 2026 and beyond. And of course, I'll be checking out some new and upcoming indie and VR games in between. So if you'd like to support me and see more of my content, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out a lot and keeps you in the loop when new videos drop. That's all for now, and hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.